24 years of age now, 17 straight wins, rising quickly up the British rankings, but a step into international class against Livinson Ruiz of Colombia. Overall, certainly more experienced and in a higher grade. And Dad, just a face in the crowd here at the MEN Arena, nervously watching from afar, not bearing to be up close at ringside. But let's see how the boy got on.
18th appearance and the first match slated for 12 rounds for our English featherweight champion, Stephen Foster Jr., as he tackles Colombian Livinson Ruiz, who looks a dangerous puncher early. But Foster starts a big favourite. What do you want to see from our unbeaten hope tonight?
Well, I don't think he wants to get down to work too seriously until it maybe gets over the nerves. He's obviously going to be a little bit nervous here. So don't do anything silly, don't be too quick to make an impression. Have a little look what this guy's got. You've got loads of time. Carries his chin a little bit high, Ruiz. So we'll see if Foster will punish him for that.
Heavy-handed, but has been stopped 4 times himself, the 28-year-old Colombian, who will be inspired by Victor Polo's performance the other week. Will Foster want to get hold of that centre of the ring and back Ruiz up early?
Well, I just think first of all find out what he has, what the dangers are. That's what you want to see first of all. Find out the dangers, then go looking for the weaknesses. I mean, an unknown proposition, he don't know quite what to expect. But as you've said already, Adam, he looks to be heavy-handed.
Jab from Foster, sensible, modest type, who's blossoming well. Slow burning sort of career, which leapt up when he forced Gary Thornhill into retirement last time out.
Nice controlled boxing from Foster in the first round, not doing an awful lot of work, not getting too many punches home, but he's controlled, just taking his time.
Keeping those gloves high. Left hand getting closer. Good pal Jamie Moore at ringside cheering him on. And his father will be somewhere. Very patiently watching.
Well, Ruiz, he doesn't look as though his defences will be too difficult to penetrate. Chin high, stance wide, hands low.
Just slipping a touch too on the trainer type boots. Livinson Ruiz trying to plant those feet to get the power. Is that balance all there?
Well, Ruiz was busier the first couple of minutes, but young Foster Jr. has settled well in the last minute or so, just beginning to find his confidence now, I think.
Compact, concentration high. Foster Jr. with a good start. And there is the Viking, former Commonwealth light middleweight champion, who fought for the world title in this very arena. Stopped bravely by the brilliant Ronald Winky Wright. He gets so nervous. Not surprising.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, I think parents are much more nervous than the fighters themselves because you're sitting there helpless. But that was an impressive start. I thought it was outworked the first couple of minutes of the round, but eventually as the round wore on, a little bit more confidence, settled down. So things are looking okay.
He's trying to fight in
them
little bursts, he's trying to nick it off you, okay? To do his little bit, then get away, that's when you've got to work with him. When he wants to work, you work with him. When he wants to rest, you work, all right? Okay, stand up.
That's pretty much what happened with Dean Powell's just said. Outworked him a little bit in the first couple of minutes. But Foster improved as the round went on. And at this stage, that's the important thing.
Here's the second round. WBU 9-stone belt on the line, being contested by local Stephen Foster Jr., unbeaten in 17, the 24-year-old from nearby Salford, up against Colombia's Livinson Ruiz. He's in his 25th fight, he's won 18, but has been exposed when going up in class. Is this a perfect start from Foster?
No, well, we wouldn't say a perfect start, but it's a sensible start. He's not doing anything silly. He's not trying to reach with his punches. He's not in any hurry. Compact, chin down, defences are nice and tight. Good solid base to work from. Not perfect, but fairly impressive. This is what you want.
He won the English ABA titles back in 2000 and 2001, Stephen Foster, and the punch power seems to be picking up in the pro ranks.
I like the way Foster's stepping in behind the jab, getting some snap into it. Good right hand.
Wide open there, Livinson Ruiz had to take that one. And a strong-looking jab from Foster Jr., who really is upping the pace here in the second.
See Foster pushing him back, which is a good plan. You want to take some of the sting out of this fellow's punches. He's not clever. He's fairly crude, actually, so I don't imagine he'll be very effective if pushed back.
Yeah, he was also floored when he lost to Svenpurev Choi. Livinson Ruiz. Foster would have seen the record, they'd have done their homework. Will his punch power get through? Good right hand again. Is he too open, Ruiz?
Well, he was, right? That was the first impression I had, was his hands were too low, his chin was too high. But you still have to take advantage of that. And young Foster, he's marked up a little bit in the forehead there. So he's been taking one or two himself. But this is good controlled boxing, and an improvement on the first round as well.
Little combination from Ruiz. Foster forward once more. Yeah, just a little mark on the forehead above the left eye for Foster.
Everything nice and compact from Foster. Very sensible, nothing too flashy, but that was an excellent round for young Stephen Foster Jr. So you can see the chin always too high, hands always too low from Ruiz. Foster, as you can see, his chin's low. If he makes a mistake, he's in a good position to cover up, not be punished for it. But as Ruiz backs off, you can see the defence is scattered and the chin goes even higher.
The Ruiz corner, very animated, not happy with their charge. Hasn't seemed settled, is that right?
I think he was trying to make an early impression. His boxing's a little bit disjointed. He's leaving himself open. I think he was looking to hurt Foster early. That hasn't happened, so I don't know what plan B is going to be. But Foster is the one improving at the moment.
Round 3.
Here's the third round, 75th of Stephen Foster's career so far, 105th of Livinson Ruiz. It's been a decent start for Stephen Foster Jr. in the red trunks, remember, with the black and silver stripes and the Colombian colours of Ruiz. Just keeps backing him up.
I think he takes most of what Ruiz has away from him when he backs him up. It takes a real smart fighter to be effective on the back foot, and I don't think Ruiz can be. Still heavy-handed, but you don't want him coming forward. You can see he's much more confident looking coming forward.
Boxed a couple of times last year, Ruiz, with knockout wins. But the form with Stephen Foster Jr. and of course the unbeaten record to keep intact. Mark as well under the left eye as well as on the forehead for Stephen Foster Jr. So shows that Ruiz has got through, but much more of an impact there from Foster's work.
See, some of Ruiz's punches have been kind of cuffing punches, not really the knuckle part of the glove, which I think is marking Foster up a little bit. That was a good right hand from Foster.
11 wins inside the distance. This would be one of the finest if he can pull it off. Learning the game and fan base growing.
Yeah, I thought last time out in Foster's work there was a kind of maturity. You were seeing him as a good, becoming a seasoned pro, and I think that's paying off here. I think he's just shaking Ruiz, left hook to the top of the head. Seemed to scramble him for a second there.
Yeah, some have said at times that Stephen Foster Jr. has been a bit stale, lacking ideas on the way up, but maybe this is a time now where maturity and sensible boxing develops and he can improve. That's the key as you're getting into title level.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to, you plateau a little bit because you're just taking on board what you've learned and just perfecting it. But at one time he was really improving. He was the most improving fighter in the country, I thought. So things have to slow slightly, but now there's a maturity about his work. Ruiz grasping now, which is a good sign.
Aiming for the body, Stephen Foster Jr. He's been through some trainers, including Billy Graham, to help him perfect that. Good action, end of the third. Oliver Harrison leading the corner and the training now.
See Foster still stepping in with the punches, but still with the chin nice and low. I mean, you can see that if anything's coming back, the chin will be right down between the shoulders. Boxing very sensibly, getting things under control.
Over 100 thrown. Look at the success rate, over double. 3 times as many landed for Stephen Foster Jr. Stats tell the tale so far?
Yep, I would say so, and I think the most important thing, I don't get the feeling that Ruiz has something up his sleeve that we haven't seen yet. I think he's fairly straightforward. I won't go as far as to say crude, but I don't expect any subtleties to be shown. So things looking good for young Foster Jr.
Here's the 4th round. Stephen Foster Jr. growing into this professional game as a decent-looking featherweight. Competitive domestically with Dazzo Williams, John Simpson just below Scott Harrison, Michael Brody and Nicky Cook. Maybe a part for Foster to play in the coming 12 to 18 months. There or thereabouts, just underneath them.
Yeah, I would say so. Again, you can see Ruiz maybe struggling a little bit with the canvas, but defence is non-existent.
Looking ragged, disorganised as the rounds go on, Livinson Ruiz. Tried to find the big shots in the opening session or two, having to take many more now.
He's still looking fresh and strong enough, Ruiz. So I think Foster's quite right just to keep things going nice and steady. What he's doing is working, winning the rounds without over-exerting himself. Long way to go. So just stick with what he's doing. Picking the punches nicely.
Crisp right hand there from Stephen Foster Jr. Has been down once before. Unbeaten Russian at the time, Alexander Abramenko, floored him in Dagenham. Foster dealt with that and stopped the Russian. And a right hand there again shakes Livinson Ruiz. Is he really growing for you, Stephen Foster Jr.?
Yeah, well, as I said, more maturity now, a bit more confidence in his work. But he's approached this very sensibly, nothing flashy, just a good, solid, compact boxing. You see, again, the chin's down. He's looking what he's doing, taking his time, not taking any silly chances.
Right!
defensively tight, using aggressive pressure and finding the openings. Got his gloves up there.
Yeah, a little burst there from Ruiz, but nothing punishing there, and right back down to work again, Foster.
Dave Paris just saying keep the punches up, and he is aiming the body of Ruiz, trying to slow the Colombian down. The right hand just squeaks through the usually tight guard of Foster. Just a reminder from Ruiz, but only sporadically.
Yeah, and he's just come back with a better one, which is fairly important.
Listen to what he's saying,
10
but
seconds,
don't neglect
corners.
your own jab. You just keep him in check with it.
Still, the animation goes on in Ruiz's
Seconds
corner.
out. Round 5.
Surprising they're not happy. Here's the 5th round. This is the one that Livinson Ruiz was stopped by Weber Garcia in May 2003. Can Foster get to him? Now a left hook to the ribs. That's the target. That's what they're aiming for.
See, one of the secrets in boxing, if you start with your chin low as you set up, when punches come your way, you're going to go lower. If you start with your chin high when someone attacks, you're going to go back even higher. And that's what's good about Foster tonight. His chin's low, he's nice and compact, so when anything comes his way, he just goes into his shell, copes with it, and comes back with the counters. Really boxing well.
Good left hook to the head as well from Foster Jr. And is that what's bad about Ruiz?
Yeah, right from the first round, I noticed that his chin was high, his hands were low, and that's the kind of style he has, a very upright stance, and Foster has never had any problem, especially with the right hand.
There's a puzzled look on the face of Livinson Ruiz, as if to say, what do I do now? Where's the plan B? I haven't stopped this guy. Still throwing the punches, though.
I think it's important too the way Foster is pacing the action. He's not trying to win the rounds by a mile, just keeping himself in front, keeping things under control without overexerting himself. You don't know what this fellow in the later stages, he still, as I say, he looks fairly fresh, fairly strong. So you don't know what he still has to offer.
Not taking any risks, or not many.
That's it, everything controlled.
Upping the tempo at times when he feels right, when he feels confident enough to do. Thinking this job through, and that's a good sign to see.
Yeah, well, any time he's felt that Ruiz is beginning to get a little foothold, he comes back, meets him head on, and starts backing him up again. That's what he's doing at the moment here.
Again, the left hand troubling Ruiz, who just has to hold on for a moment.
This is a good time to inflict a little bit of pain, send him back to his corner at the end of the round with something to think about.
Tactically astute performance from Stephen Foster Jr.
For him, that's what you've got to remember, okay?
Definitely, it's a lot of shots, Junior. All I need for you to do now is keep those fakes going and keep those good counter shots. You're not missing it. When you're faking them, all of a sudden when you do your boxing, you're beating him up. You're just like that right hand, that one.
Right, son.
The strong words of Dean Powell, the soft approach from Oliver Harrison. All going well for the blue corner here and the red trunks of Stephen Foster Jr., who starts this session with a right hand that again got through to Ruiz. Another one, very unsteady on his legs. And now the predatory instincts take over of Stephen Foster Jr.
a solid punch. He still doesn't have the sense to get his defences up. Look now, hasn't a clue defensively, Ruiz. I don't think that's a count. That's not a count.
Just bundled down, really, but hurt here in the sixth. And does Stephen Foster Jr. now feel it's time to go for the stoppage? Relax, they're saying in the corner.
Yeah, but everything's working. Good body shot too. Ruiz completely lost for ideas, doesn't know what to do. His defences are even worse than they've been. Doesn't quite know how to cope with Foster.
Still got to be careful just of one detonating on the chin of Stephen Foster Jr., who just goes for a quiet spell all of a sudden, gets the gloves up, and is he hurt? Stephen Foster Jr., he's tripped down, and Dave Parris says no knockdown.
Well, for the first time he was defending Foster, but his chin was too stationary. He should have been moving that head. This was what I worried about Ruiz. He still looked fresh, he still looked strong, he'd run out of ideas, but he still has the strength. Foster must cover up here.
All of a sudden, Stephen Foster Jr. looks tired. It's a fairly dramatic sixth round here. Seemed on the verge of stopping Ruiz, but back the Colombian has come.
I was complimenting on Foster the way he was pacing the fight, but he upped the pace maybe a little bit too early. And I think maybe he's just a little bit out of breath. I don't expect he's tired at the moment. He's out of breath, maybe he thinks he's tired. But I think when he gets back to the corner, they'll get him back on the right road again.
Still 40 seconds to go though of the round.
This is bad news. This is at a time when Ruiz needed a little bit of success, and he certainly found it.
He's backing Foster up for the first time in the fight, although an uppercut and a combination from the Salford featherweight was sparkling. What a riposte. What a great round.
Well, the big question obviously is going to be who has this round taken the most out of? Is it Foster or is it Ruiz? But the important thing, Ruiz needed a big round and he's just had one.
Who has that taken more out of?
Well, we're about to find out. We'll know that when the bell sounds to start the next round, but he started the round so well. A couple of good right hands right through the defence. I'm calling it defence, was hardly a defence there. Then suddenly Ruiz landed a couple of good right hands, turned it all the way around. Foster at this point, he should have been clinching. His hands were still tight, his defences were tight, but his head was too stationary, bundled to the floor. But at this point, that was a good body shot, which is a little bit of a sickener. But again, able to grit his teeth and come firing back there. That was a tough round. What to be done in Foster's corner here?
Both over 50% success rate in a terrific round of boxing. Second half, WBU 9-stone title on the line. It all seemed fairly comfortable for Stephen Foster Jr. over the first five, but has the sixth turned the fight around? Who will come out stronger now? That's how you've got it.
You can see Foster Jr. heading towards a comfortable lead. Ruiz on my card just tightening things slightly in the sixth round. This is a tough part of a championship fight. You've done six, you still have six to go. You're starting to feel a little bit tired, a little bit sorry for yourself. This is the difficult part you have to get through. See if Foster can grit his teeth here and just dig in.
Who has trained harder? Who has more energy? Who has more desire?
This is where Foster wants to use that jab that's been so effective up to this point. Just break the concentration, even if it's not a solid jab. Just break this man's concentration. You can see in his mind what he has planned. He's ready with that big right hand. There it goes.
Combination gets through, much to the delight of the crowd, but body shots back and then a right hand from Foster. Whose punches are having more effect on the other?
Well, I think Ruiz is naturally the stronger puncher, but Foster's a better delivered landing cleaner. He's troubled Ruiz a few times. I would still say of the two, Ruiz is slightly the more dangerous puncher, but he's not landing cleanly.
Shakes his head, spitting out defiance. Livinson Ruiz, who was stopped in this round by Walter Estrada, albeit on cuts 3 years ago. It's been a good one.
Yeah, well, it looked in the early stages as though it was just going to be a boxing exhibition from Foster, but now his championship fights usually turn out is to see who can dig in that little bit deeper.
Countering punch by Foster, and then a left hook for good measure. And it's Ruiz who's backed up. Has Foster come out fresher for this seventh, and is that key?
He's produced the better work in the seventh here. Still a tough round, still expending a lot of energy, but got himself into control a bit more. But there's still a bit of spring in Ruiz's legs, there's still a bit of fire in his punches. But a good round for Foster. A little bit of bad temper, we can do without that.
Second down.
What twists next in this featherweight clash? England, Stephen Foster Jr., Colombia's Livinson Ruiz Canencia. Right hand from Foster. Punches delivering with more accuracy, Jim?
Yeah, there's not a great deal of power in Foster's punch. I think he's dropping the pace down now slightly. He's waiting for the chances as opposed to going looking for them, which is good sound advice. Just settle down. He's a far better boxer than Ruiz. So just take your time. Again, do what you were doing earlier. Win rounds without putting too much effort into it.
Was the quiet spell that he had in the sixth when he went into his shell and covered up, was that just a blip, or is that something to concern yourself about?
I think he was maybe shaken with a couple of the punches that came his way. I mean, there was no reason he did it. He wasn't running out of steam. I mean, he's come back quite fresh. I think he's maybe shaken and maybe just dented his confidence slightly, but he's come back in fine style.
Back into his groove, but never been made to feel entirely comfortable by the eager Ruiz, who may not be technically as good, but he certainly wants it.
Yep, and again, still a fair bit of spring in Ruiz's legs. He hasn't lost his ambition. Nothing subtle at what he's doing. He's a little bit crude at times, but still fancies the job and still reasonably fresh looking.
Blemish under the left eye, a touch redder for Stephen Foster Jr. Nothing particularly serious about that. As he covers up, and Ruiz again goes on the attack.
See, I think some head movement. When straight punches are coming at you, you don't just want to put your hands up and leave your head in the one position. You want to roll away from the punches. That's maybe the one little mistake he's made defensively. He's losing his way in this round in the last minute or so.
Jimmy was a few ounces over the weight at the weigh-in, Stephen Foster Jr. Had to get that off. Is that going to be a contributing factor now?
No, I don't think so. If you look at the weights he's been weighing in over the last couple of years, he's always around the 9 stone mark. I think that was just a little miscalculation on their part. I don't think that's a problem. This is another fairly tough round.
Some of these sessions have been tight, and Ruiz bangs his chest.
Not just single one. One for the
minutes to go. Who will win this down the stretch? Stephen Foster Jr. maybe in a considerable lead after his early success, but has Livinson Ruiz come back, nicked these rounds? He's certainly putting the pressure back on Foster. It's interestingly balanced now.
Yep, again, Foster covers up well, but maybe just a little bit too stationary.
Is the eye worsening too, the left one of Foster?
Yeah, there's a fair bit of swelling coming up there. He seems to mark up. He was fairly marked up in his last fight as well. I think he's a kid who marks easily. Whereas Ruiz, not a mark in the slightest. Just looking the same as he was when he came in. A little warning from the referee. Another punch straying off target.
This was the round he finally caught up with Gary Thornhill. A career best display. Retained his English featherweight title, the one he won against Sean Hughes 12 months ago.
Good job Foster's developing. Just at times like this, when you're feeling that little bit tired, the other fellows trying to mount an attack, the jab gets you out of trouble. And Foster just struggling a little bit at the moment. Both feeling the pace, I think.
What do you think his father will be thinking watching this? Obviously they've got totally different styles. Will he be pleased at the moment?
Yeah, I think he'll be more than pleased, but at this point in a fight, the tactics go out the window. It's just a case of getting the guy's pride, reminding him this is the biggest night of his life. Just got to dig in and try that little bit harder, but Foster not really, hasn't produced much at all in this round. It's been a scrappy round. But there's definitely a dip in the pace from Foster here.
And Ruiz getting angry, trying to find the room. That's a body shot and headshots on Foster, who again is backed up on the ropes. Is the tide turning?
Well, certainly signs of tiredness in Foster's work. He hasn't been doing anything silly. His defences have held together. He's not really produced a lot of good work, just a little bit too little, too late, I'm afraid.
Okay, round 10 coming.
Unbeaten in 17. What about this one, the 18th? Unknown territory. The first time past 9 rounds as they work on the swelling.
Beautiful, and another time you're looking a bit ponderous. Stop looking ponderous, and you start using your legs to go back.
There's Steve
good.
Foster, the Viking, walking off. He must be ever so nervous. Can't keep still at ringside. He's so involved in his son's career.
Yeah, well, he's been in this situation, a fight that you feel you're winning, then
when he
suddenly
goes
you
to
start
set, you
feeling
know
the
when he's
pace.
going to set, all you got to do is feint or stick.
10 seconds, corners.
Touch more desperation in the Foster corner and more confidence in Ruiz's. 9 minutes left of what's been an entertaining WBU featherweight title fight, but who's going to win the belt? 3 judges at ringside. They have differing views on this one. There's your card by a couple of rounds to Foster, so all to play for.
Yep, and you can't afford to drop the pace. This is a crucial stage in the fight. If this fella gets back into things, then he could be in big trouble. This is a crucial stage in the fight. They're both feeling tired. Foster just must dig in. Another round under his belt is what he needs at this stage.
Ruiz has gone 10 before, but not beyond that. So that would be uncharted waters for him.
Again, the left jab, great punch, when you're beginning to feel things a little bit of a struggle, just get behind the jab, break the other man's concentration, but that was a bad right hand to take.
Matching punch for punch at times, these two. Ruiz,
Right!
you feel at ringside, Jim, has got the heavier power though.
Yes, I feel he's physically a little bit stronger than Foster. A beauty! Exactly what he needed, a beauty!
Just as we say that, left hook, back on the back. Beautifully timed from Foster Jr. There's no way Livinson Ruiz is going to make it. He's going to be knocked out, doesn't know where he is, turns the fight on its head with the shot of his career so far. Stephen Foster Jr. produces the perfect knockout punch, possibly slightly against the run of play at that very moment. That's what it's all about, this game.
Yeah, that's what championship boxing is all about, producing something special when it is badly needed. Couple of signs here and there that Foster was losing his way slightly. He was still digging in, he was still producing good boxing, he was still controlled, but just at the point when the other fella was beginning to look that little bit stronger, bang, look at that, right on the point of the chin. Couldn't have landed in a sweeter spot, and you can see from that point on the fight is all over. Beautiful left hook, bang on the point of the chin. You don't have to be a massive puncher to score clean knockouts if you get it right on the button, and that's how you can see the gum shield coming out. Probably his jaw was a little bit relaxed as that punch landed, which adds to the power, adds to the problems, but that was a beauty.
Timing, precision, and look what it means to Stephen Foster Jr. 18th most important win, and what a finish.